All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And today is Wednesday. This is first of 4 online workshops that the Learning Skills Unit is offering. And I'm so glad, I'm so blown away that there are about 15 or 16 of you joining me today. Thank you. So before we start, I know it's a bit early, about 3 minutes before 10. I would like to go through a lot of routines like checking your audio-visual access. And if you can clearly hear me and see me, I'd just like to know that. And I also want to make sure that you're giving me your student ID so that I'll be able to send you the slides and the recordings afterwards, okay? So as you can see, we are going to talk about what you need to know when entering university. Yes, and yeah, we have one person who's raised his hand, Tuan. Good, you're very familiar with the features of this software. If you do have questions, you can use that raised hand feature, or you can type your questions in the chat box like here. And this is probably one of the most common ways for us to communicate. Some of you may be doing this for the first time, joining an online workshop or a webinar. Others may have done this several times before. So if you are a techie like other people I know, then feel free to tell others how to use the feature. However, if you need help, just let me know as well. Okay, so good morning. My name is Nadia Laurent, and I am from the Learning Skills Unit. And there are Learning Skills Unit advisors in Hanoi and Saigon South. I'm the one in Hanoi, and I love that you are here with me, and my colleagues are also joining me, okay? So again, I mentioned earlier that we need your personal information, like your name or student number, so that we can send you the slides and we can also update you with handouts. So please, if your name is on the participant list, but I don't see your student ID, type it in the chat box or send me a private message, okay? Now the chat box, like I mentioned, is the feature that you find just underneath the slides, and that's our main communication tool. Type your questions there. If I have a question for all of you, type your answers in there, and we will all be seeing everyone's opinion, okay? Don't be afraid if you are sharing some things, personal things, in our discussion later on, because that's the way to make this workshop very interactive, okay? Now, I just want to make sure that you can clearly hear me and see the PowerPoint slides. Now, if at any time of the workshop you lose your audio connection or your visual aspects, please let me know so that I can adjust accordingly. And if there are things that we couldn't sort of control at the moment, like the internet being slow or hopefully not your computer or laptop crashing, you can always log back in using the same link that I shared with you, okay? And then at the end of the workshop, I will be showing some questions. I'll be sharing questions through the polling feature. And this is where I get to get some data or statistics from all the participants. Things like where you study, what you use to access this online workshop with, a laptop, your smartphone, or an iPad. Those are the simple questions I would ask later, okay? All right. So there are about 18 of us, and this is really exciting. Maybe most of you have, attended English classes at RMIT, and some are fresh high school graduates. Welcome to the university. And I was able to get your information through the student admissions, and of course, I would really love to make this really good impression with you. Now, the Learning Skills Unit is a support unit of RMIT. And like we mentioned earlier, there is one in Hanoi and there are 2 advisors in Saigon South. So if you need help with academics or perhaps just transitioning to university, LSU is here for you, okay? All right, so I'm going to stop now with the introductions, and I would love to begin with the workshop. So today's workshop, our learning objectives include what you can expect from RMIT, an international university, and the kind of teaching and learning styles in an international university like us. Okay, and we will also look at what is expected from you as an international university student. Maybe right now you're thinking, oh, I know this already. This is a piece of cake. That's okay. That's fine. And some of you probably have also studied abroad, which is one important piece of information that you can actually share with everyone, your experience. So that is all welcome. We will also look at key academic skills that are required for university success. And for those of you who have those trade secrets on, getting an HD or DI, you are free to share that with everyone. But of course, I will also give you some tips. These academic skills are necessary for you to survive your 2 or 3 year university life here at RMIT or in any university that, as a matter of fact, okay? And then if this will help you a lot, we are going to show you a pre-university checklist. And these are just some of the things that you might want to do this week and next week. These 2 weeks before the start of the semester, you might want to make sure that you are, loaded with information even before you start the semester. So that's our simple university checklist or pre-university checklist. And I won't take as much time as I will in all the other aspects, but at the end, I will also remind you of other future workshops that LSU will be offering, okay? All right, so it's 10:04. I did my introductions in 5 minutes, whew, okay, and now let's begin. I want to start with a survey. Well, actually, this is a questionnaire, and I would like you to be more reflective than sharing or vocal about it. I like to think about the differences between an international university and your high school. Okay, so we're sort of comparing RMIT to your high school, whether it's here in Vietnam or abroad. Think about the following 8 statements, and you can do this on your own, quietly, wherever you are, and think about the best option for you. Do you agree or disagree with the following statements? For this, I think I'll just be giving you about a minute to a minute and a half. Just look at the 8 questions, agree or disagree in your mind, and then later on we will move, okay? So I'll give you a minute to, a minute and a half with this. You can also share your ideas if you like. Okay, we got some people typing in their comments. That's great. See, the good thing about online workshops is I don't see you, but you can see me. And yes, you can share your opinions with everyone. Okay, I agree to all. Okay, thank you, Tuk. I hope I said your name right. Totally agree. Thanks, Chang. All right. So everyone, you just have about half a minute to share your ideas. And it seems that most of you are agreeing to all 8 statements. Okay, so as you type your answers, okay, we have one. Hung Lin, agree except number 3. High school students often disagree with their teachers' ideas. Yeah, I agree except number 3. Okay, that's a good catch. So as you type your comments, I'm just going to go through some of them, all right? And I'm going to start with number 3, where 3 of you disagree to it. High school students often disagree with their teachers' ideas, and this can be placed in a cultural context. In other cultures, sometimes high school students are very, straightforward. They're very direct with their teachers. However, in my 5-year experience working here in Vietnam, I felt that high school students that I know, the high school students that I have relationships with, they don't always disagree with their teachers, right? And even the students that I met here at RMIT, they told me about their experiences. It's quite difficult to challenge their teachers' ideas when they were in high school. Okay, we have a longer comment here. Okay, thank you. Yes, I will take note of that. Yes, I will send the slides later, and this webinar is also being recorded, so I will be able to send you the link, and you can watch it again if if you want to be clear with some things. Okay, I disagree. Ian says I disagree with number 1, 3, and 7. Okay, so let's take a look at number 1. Learning at university mostly involves discussion. Actually, Ian, you're correct. It's a combination of a lot of interactive tools. It's not just discussion. Sometimes you also do research on your own, and there are times that you work in a group or work alone. There are times when you have to collaborate and you do an activity together in class. And this is what happens at RMIT. For most of the time, though, you will also have to do research by yourself. Okay, so it's very interesting that you have that idea of what really happens at university. Great. Number 7, learning in high school is mostly passive. Students receive knowledge. Yeah. Sometimes, most students at high school, they sit, receive the information, memorize, pass the exams, that's it. All right. Other students, however, they're very interactive, and that's what we're going to look at later on. Before I move to the next slide, there's one more number 5. High school students are closely supervised by teachers. Yeah. So in some schools they are, but in others, we can't say this in general, right? Some students are not closely supervised by their teachers. Okay. Great. That's a lot of interaction, everyone. Thank you so much. So now that we have looked at the differences, okay, this is a picture of what you can expect in a university, an international university like RMIT. The learning and teaching styles are very, very different, or I would say slightly one notch above, or one notch higher than what you're used to in high school. Okay, so let's take a look at these main differences. What you can expect at RMIT are the following. You will experience a variety of classes at RMIT. So in high school, perhaps, there was more classroom interaction or discussion, or there was a passive classroom environment. However, in any university, you will have lectures, which is the picture that I showed you earlier, tutorials, which is a small version of your lectures, and the people who are in charge or running the tutorials may or may not be the lecturers themselves. Sometimes they are higher level students with experience, with really good grades in that course or subject, and they have time to share with the lower level students what they know about that course. Sometimes the university also offers workshops like this and some, on-hand training, or what we call practicals. Now, for some courses offered at RMIT, like business statistics, for example, the students are expected to learn how to use Excel. And sometimes the lecturers asks another person to do a workshop or a practical with that Excel sheet or with that Excel exercise. And students have to attend that practical. So this is apart from your regular classes. Sometimes also the university offers online classes. It may or may not be related to the course like this. This is university preparation online workshops, but also your lecturers will give you a link to an online class. And these are mostly optional, but it's also part of your learning tool, okay? So that's the first one. The second one is the teaching style, right? In university, you are always required to be active participants. Maybe we could sort of generalize high school, we sit, we bring our stuff, listen, ask a few questions. But in university, there's actually lecturer student interaction and student student interaction. And this is very important because this is where you actually apply your critical thinking skills. Now, I don't know about you, but in high school, I wasn't a student that asked a lot of questions. I was probably like what most of you did. I just sat there and then received information. Okay, but there are some students in my high school years that ask a lot of questions. And it was those questions that helped them to understand more. Now, critical thinking is just one aspect of the skills that we're going to talk about. If you ask a lot of questions, then that means you're actually, ruminating on the ideas that are being introduced to you. And in the classroom, sometimes your lecturers give you problem-based questions, exercises, because these lead to problem-based learning. So let's say the day before you were introduced a theory. The next day, here's an example. Here's a case study. How do you apply the theory that we talked about yesterday into solving or giving solutions to this company's management problem or HR problem, okay, or financial problem? And it's really, really exciting, okay? All right, I'm going to move on to the last one. At university, the study tasks are quite extensive. Study task is just another word for requirements. So if you look at the list, we have preparation for classes, advanced reading, homework, yuck, right? Research, whether done alone or in a group, finding information, assignment tasks, whether there are written report or spoken, which means you will have to do a presentation at the end of the semester, or collaborative tasks. It's very interesting that in the previous semester, I worked with a group of ProfCom students, and that was a collaborative task. They had an event that was launched university-wide, okay, at least campus-wide here in Hanoi. And that's one of those things that you may be doing in the future, okay? All right, so let's have a quick look at critical thinking. This is something that I mentioned earlier. I guess from the expectations, we're now moving on to the essential skills for university success. The first one is critical thinking. Now, I want to pick your brains again. Here's a little quiz, okay? I'd like you to think about this question, and I'd like you to give me your best answer. So for this, 2 minutes, everyone. Type in your answers in the chat box. Right. Okay, our chat box is being flooded with the letters B. Letter B and A, but mostly B. Okay, great. Awesome. So, yes, the correct answer is B, okay? And Critical thinking is actually this definition: objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment or conclusion. The key words here are objective analysis, evaluation, and judgment. Okay, so what's wrong with the previous definitions? Well, critical thinking also involves A, thinking or weighing the advantages and disadvantages of something. But you ask yourself, what do you do with the advantages and disadvantages? It's like deciding who to marry. If I marry this guy, here are my advantages. If I marry this guy, here are my disadvantages. So what's missing in A is that there has to be a purpose when you weigh the advantages and disadvantages. And C can also be a definition of critical thinking. It's making a decision based on your personal experience. Like earlier, my example is marrying someone, okay? And you're making a decision based on analysis of advantages and disadvantages. And based on your personal experience, you should be avoiding guys who are probably, very selfish or only take care of themselves. But personal experience is not the only basis for your decision, okay? Critical thinking should look at all the angles of an issue. It should look at all the different perspectives, and it should provide advantages and disadvantages as well as supporting ideas and evidence so that at the end of the day, you can make a really good decision. And that's what we call your judgment, or perhaps what we can say your take on the issue. What is your opinion about the issue based on all of this information? So critical thinking is very important. At RMIT University, your lecturers will be prying you for information, picking your brains most of the time. And how they do that, how they want you to apply critical thinking, is by giving you problem-based learning, okay? So what do you think is involved in problem-based learning? How does this problem-based learning happen? How is it done? For about a minute, share with everyone your ideas. Type it in the chat box. And I guess I'm just going to get something to drink to lubricate my throat, okay? Okay, Duke says problem, of course. Problem about what and whose problem, right? Hung Lin, looking into the root cause. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. Van says practical situations. Absolutely. And these practical situations, there is basis for all of these decisions, right? You need to find the root cause. Okay, Mai says students are given some problems happening in reality. Absolutely. Well done, Mai. Yes. So as the rest of you type your opinions, excuse me. Okay, like Mai said, problem-based learning is the lecturer giving you here a case study, a report perhaps, a problem that's happened in reality or that is happening in real life in a company somewhere or in a firm or an international or multinational company, okay? And with the problem, you will have to combine your knowledge and skills, right? There's my arrow. You will combine your knowledge, what you know, and the skills that you have learned in the classroom through advanced reading, through research, through discussions, active collaboration, in order to solve these real-life problems, okay? We have a long answer from Hal. He says, based on the theory to dig deeper into the problems and giving out solutions for real cases. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. So you are not just going to dive into the ocean without your scuba gear on. You will definitely be equipped with theories, with concepts, perhaps with, lectures from previous classes, slides. I'm talking about slides, perhaps even links to information, articles, journals, as well as reading materials, so that you'll be able to apply these things and solve these real life problems. So why do we do this? Because I'm going to give you about, maybe this is two reasons. Yeah, the first reason is this involves real life problems in the form of case studies so that when you finish your courses and you get onto the real world and you join this multinational company and the same problems or something similar to those problems happen, you know what to do, okay? And that's the goal of university actually, to prepare you for your real life job. Anyone who goes through university and gets a degree eventually has that goal in mind that, oh, I'm going to land this job. I'm going to earn lots of money because I am aware, I am equipped with what I need to do, with what I need to accomplish with my job and do it right. Okay, very interesting practical application. Here's another reason. This provides valuable workplace skills, real life skills. So we're not just talking about knowledge, which is A, we're also talking about skills. And this is somehow the stumbling block for most people. They know, all right, they have that knowledge, they've memorized everything from the book this thick, but it's difficult to apply that in real life situations. So at RMIT, the reason we're using problem-based learning is that we want you to apply what you have read from a book this thick into real life situations. And also other skills that you need in the workplace include collaboration or working together. If you imagine yourself working in an office by yourself, alone, and managing 100 people, you still need to know how to work in teams or collaborate or communicate with other people. And these things happen at RMIT University. Makes sense, right? Okay, I'm not going to spend so much time on that anymore. I'm going to move on to critical thinking and how that relates to problem-based learning. So please don't be overwhelmed with this diagram. It's just a simple picture of how you can connect what you learn to what you're going to do. So we have three boxes. The first one shows us input, or where we get our knowledge from. So we have study tasks, case studies, coursework, research, personal experience, advanced reading, web links, websites, okay, interviews. All these are sources of information. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have output. And this is you writing a report, providing solutions, giving a presentation, writing a summary, writing a review of literature, analyzing and evaluating the case, all right? Because you have this stage, you have critically thought of all these pieces of information to form your own conclusions, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Without critical thinking, it's impossible to write that essay. Even if you have read all the assigned readings, how do you write a reflection paper, for example, if you could not think critically about the ideas, all right? So it's very important that you are able to apply what you have learned, okay? All right, I have a message. Okay, that's okay, Yen. This is being recorded, so I can send you the recording and the slides later on, okay? All right, now wow, that has been a 20-minute discussion on expectations. What is expected from you now? I'm moving on to the skills, okay? All of these pictures here show independent learning. What else? What does this fourth picture show you? We have been talking about this earlier in the last 20 minutes. What does that last picture show you? If this shows you independent learning, what does this last picture show you? Teamwork, absolutely, or collaboration. Yeah, critical thinking is also there. Yes, excellent. So, you guys are listening. Brilliant. Okay, yes. So, what is expected from you? Think about the following questions, okay? Wherever you are, I just like you to think quietly about these four things, okay? And then, and then I'm going to make an advertisement, okay? So, the first one, active learner, we're going to cover that very briefly today. But B, C, and D, we have the following workshops happening on Friday and Monday next week. So if you have an idea how to manage your studies, brilliant, well and good. However, if you have no set routine or strategies to manage your studies yet, then attend our workshop on Friday, and I'll give you some tools so that you'll be able to manage your time, your assignments, your social life, whatever else you experience in your independent study. On Monday, we will talk about collaborative group work or collaborative study, studying in groups. That happens also from 10 to 11. So if you have a member in the group that doesn't want to work with all the rest of you and just has his own world inside this really small bubble, how do you get that person to cooperate? Okay, so again, there will be tools shared with you on Monday on how to work collaboratively. Okay, so these are the things that that are expected from you in university. I'm going to start with active learning, and active learning means you are involved. Okay, there's no passive learning here. You are involved, and this is your mark. This is your grade that you are working towards. Okay, you are involved, and you are also asking questions. Here are ways for you to be involved. Know how to work out and where to find answers for yourself. Now, everybody would say, "Oh, that's easy. Just go to the library." Yeah, but there are a lot of things in the library, okay? So how do you find the right book? How do you find the right article to answer your case study question? Where to get help if you need it. If you need it, that's very important because at RMIT, we actually encourage everyone to be independent learners. But at some point, if you have if you struggle with a particular concept and could not find resources for that, where do you go to and get help? Okay, right. So active learning is being involved. It is also goal focused. All right. There are so many things that can toss you off track of your goals for the semester. Boyfriend, girlfriend, club activities, extracurricular activities, family, financial problems. There are just so many things, and these are the regular ones. We haven't even talked about the ones that just, happen, okay? Things that aren't planned. So you also have to maintain your goal. Now, how do you do that? We're going to talk about that on Friday, okay? The next skill is being organized, all right? In organizing, there could be several things or aspects involved. Time, files, all right, things that you download and save in your laptop, your personal stuff in your room, okay, your time with your friends. So being organized is a personal thing. So I organize my stuff the way I want to, and you probably have a different strategy to do that. But at the end of the day, there has to be a system that you follow, okay? Here's another skill. Active learning involves reflective attitudes, right? This is asking yourself how you did in your previous semester or how you did in the first assignment and evaluating what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Now, why do you do that? Because there will be more assignments in the future. There will be more group work and there will be more activities. Now, you ask yourself as well, what should I change so that next time I have this assignment, Or if next time I have a similar assignment, I would get an HD instead of a CR or a credit. Or what should I continue to do which worked for me previously and which will also work in another course. So being reflective is looking back at your learning experiences and applying what you can to improve your learning experience or to simply, make it even better. Yeah. So active learning, that's the first. Here's the second skill. Independent study. All right. A lot of students get excited with independent. The word itself makes them really excited. Independent study. But there are misconceptions about independent study. Okay. And here's a wordle for you. I would like you to find the 3 words that are not related to independent study. Okay. Find 3 words or 3 phrases that you think are not related to independent study. I'll give you 2 minutes, share with everyone, type it in the chat box, and let's talk after that. All right. That's not rocket science, isn't it? It's not even going to take 2 minutes. Okay. Lynn says group work, teacher controlled collaboration. Okay, I have answers in the previous line. Chang says teacher directed isolation, teacher control. Great. Hatan says group work, guidance, teacher directed. Okay, House says teacher controlled, group work, support. Okay. Mean, group work, collaboration, teacher controlled. High, teacher controlled, isolation, and teacher directed. Okay, I'm going to give a round of applause to High and what's the other one? Chang. Okay, teacher directed, isolation, teacher controlled. Okay, in a nutshell, independent study means the teacher is not in the picture. You take the teacher out of the picture. Okay. So our 3 words are teacher directed, teacher controlled. And what about isolation? Independent study doesn't mean you go to the farthest corner of the library and read there by yourself. Okay. All right. So independent study is simply without the supervision of an adult or a lecturer or your teacher, but definitely with collaboration or teamwork with other learners or peers. Or if you choose, study by yourself, okay? But not all the time. See, there are times when I read some things that I understand them by myself, and there are times that I would ask someone for their opinion on what I have just read, because let's face it, I don't have all the answers to all the questions in the world. The same thing happens with you university students. You may have ideas, but then again, these ideas need to be verified. And you also have your peers who are asking the same questions. So it's amazing what you learn from each other, yes? But again, at the end of the day, there's no teacher there. So how do you get all the answers to all your questions, whether you're doing it alone or in groups? Research, reading, okay? Looking at journals, articles, watching learning videos or guides, okay? And that's how you learn independently. That's independent study. Now, here are practical application to developing that independent study skills. All right, taking responsibility for your own study. Don't wait for the lecturer to give you readings. Don't wait for the lecturer to tell you, oh, go to this website, you will learn more about this theory in this website. Don't wait, all right, for someone to tell you what you need to do. If you have questions, and you feel that that concept is going to come out in your final exam, you need to understand that theory now. Don't wait until the last minute, okay? Here's another. Make choices. I guess in RMIT, you students are allowed to choose the courses, all right, that will take up or that will make up your semester. It's brilliant. You can choose a difficult course and two easy ones. You can choose two easy courses, two difficult courses and one manageable course. So these are choices that you make. These are things that you do for yourself. You don't wait for your parents to tell you, oh, take all four, and then you don't survive the semester, right? Making choices is part of independent study. Setting study goals and planning. This is more personal than those courses that you decide on. What, how, when, where, and how long to study. So let's go back to our example. One difficult course, two easy courses. If you look at all 14 weeks of study at RMIT, how much time are you going to spend with a difficult course? How much time are you going to spend with the two easy courses? Look at also the requirements. How many assignments do you have to write for the difficult course? How many group projects do you have to do for the two easy courses? Okay, so some students, they tell me, oh, I will just plot all of these due dates, these deadlines in my Google Calendar. Brilliant. That's one way for you to set goals and plan your entire semester. Other students, they just say, okay, I will put a reminder on my iPad, my smartphone, so I know when to do the research ahead of time, 2 or 3 weeks before the due date, okay? So these are decisions that you make on your own. Here's another. Okay, I want to do this report by myself, but there is a part of the assignment that I have to collaborate with 2 or 3 more people, okay? So what am I going to do? One brilliant student shared last time, and they got an HD because of the wonderful project they made. She did a research on 9 other people, but I don't advise you to do this. She researched the 9 other people in her class on their Facebook, perhaps interviewed them, talked to them, and selected them to be her group members. She was the leader. And that was very smart because she knows what she wants from her members. She knows her strengths and weaknesses, and she also knows the capabilities of her group members. So at the end of the day, at the end of the semester, they had this wonderful event, and I was their client, and their lecturer was blown away by their grand launch of the LSU. Okay, and they all received an HD. So how you manage things, that's exactly what setting study goals and planning means, all right? Okay, I think there are 2 more. Okay, let me just show the rest of it. Okay, finding resources and support, knowing where to ask help or guidance when you need it, maintaining focus and motivation. For most students, when they start the semester, they're all pumped up, they're all ready. Bring it on, okay? They could take on the entire campus, take the whole world, and they're very motivated. In the middle of the semester, motivation's still there, but it's not as high as it was when the semester started. The end of the semester, motivation plunges, okay? So how do you maintain focus and motivate yourself? Easy, reward yourself. After you have accomplished an assignment, perhaps after your second assignment, and you feel that you did well, reward yourself, okay? And remember that example earlier about students plotting the due dates on their calendar? When you do that, you are going to see which weeks are free for you and which weeks are going to be very busy. So it's a matter of managing your time and motivating yourself when you have time. Some students I know after their midterms, they go out and enjoy, go to a cafe, drink and talk, and sometimes they watch films. and it helps them because friends also motivate or can motivate you. Okay. The last one, reflecting on your studies and adjusting if necessary. Remember, we talked about being a reflective learner. Look back on what worked for you in your first assignment, in your first group work, in the first few weeks of your university. What worked for you and what didn't? Maybe you need more time to check your school email, your Gmail, your student email. Okay, because that's where the lecturer sends a lot of updates to. Maybe you need to spend more time checking your Blackboard discussions, okay? Or maybe you need to print out those assignment briefs and spend time reading and understanding what is required from you in your assignment, okay? So if you haven't done that, then maybe you just need to spend more time on those strategies, okay? Getting ahead and then getting on with the task. Okay, so how many tasks have we talked about? Active learning, independent study, and well, I've given you those practical applications of independent study. I'd like you to think for about 2 minutes. Reflect on your own independent study skills. So here are the 6 independent study skills again. In a minute to a minute and a half, share with each other which skills are you most confident about. So for me, for example, B, making choices, I'm quite confident. Where's that? I'm not typing anything. There you go. Okay. So for example, making choices, I'm quite confident about it. What about you? Which areas of your independent study skills are you confident, not so sure about, and not confident at all? Okay, taking responsibility, great. D3, finding sources and support. Thank you for sharing that, Tuk. Yes. E2, maintaining focus and motivation. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Hong Lin. Teen, finding sources and support. Okay. Wow, we have 3. Making choices and maintaining focus. Okay, great. B is also, not so confident, making choices. Okay, so as the rest of you type your answers, making choices seems to be the most unfamiliar waters for most of you, okay? Making choices, when you think about choices, remember at the end of the day, it is you who will be benefiting from it, okay? I guess for young people like us, making choices involves considering other people, parents, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, neighbor. But really, at the end of the day, your choices are your own, and your choices will affect you and you alone, okay? And sometimes we're afraid to make choices because we have been warned so many times not to choose that. Then again, those warnings are useful. However, you have to be able to use your abilities to think logically and say, well, this may not have worked for this person, but it might just work for me. Remember the adage, what works for one does not always work for the rest, all right? So if it's something that you have to decide for yourself, you may also want to get, feedback from other people. Making choices should not be a stand-alone situation, okay? But it should not also be because of other people. At the end of the day, it is for you. It is your choice, okay? So that's really very helpful, everyone. Thank you for sharing. I guess there could be a possible workshop topic on making choices. You think? That's really, really exciting. Okay, thanks. And I'm going to move on. The last skill is collaborative study. Okay, collaborative or teamwork. What are the benefits of studying in a team? Okay, off the top of your head, in just a minute, share with everyone. What are the good things about studying in a team? Okay, has it been a minute? I guess so. Okay. You get a lot more information. You learn from others in a short time. Yes. You make more friends, more ideas. You relieve the burdens. Absolutely. There are various opinions. Gain more experience. There are more ideas, more objective judgments. Very good. Very well said. Okay, more ideas, excuse me, more people, all right, more hands, right, more energy, more people to accomplish all the tasks. Okay, great. So those are wonderful answers, wonderfully thought answers. And here are just some of your answers in the slide, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and click, oops, sorry. All right, there are about 6 of them here. You have more ideas, okay, like what most of you said. You share and stimulate each other's ideas. Sometimes a person's idea is just half-baked, right? Like a cake. It needs 30 minutes more in the oven. So another person's idea is fed into that half-baked ideas or idea, and then there's this brilliant idea that was stimulated by another. And this idea worked for the group. Okay, so the more heads, the better. Okay, great. Get different perspectives. Absolutely. Imagine if all of you, all 5 of you or 4 of you in a group have the same perspective. There is no variety. Okay. In fact, there is no other way to look at an issue. Remember, we thought about critical thinking earlier. Critical thinking is looking at all the angles of an issue. So it's really good to have perspective, at least different perspectives in the group. You're also able to clarify your own ideas through discussion. That half-baked idea just probably need more stimulation. You get more creativity and critical thinking. You learn to give and receive criticism. We have a workshop about giving and receiving feedback that's offered next semester. So sometimes students are very, very sensitive when they're given feedback. Sometimes the students are also very apathetic. They don't care, they just have to say what they think. Now, we cannot be in those extremes because as a student, as a learner, we need to be given time to accept that criticism and time to process that criticism so that it can be productive, okay? So that's another benefit of collaborative study if the criticism is given productively, okay? Finally, highly valued life skill. Yes, remember, you're in university because you need that degree so that you land that job, okay? And in collaborative study, that's exactly what's going to help you develop, okay? The ability to interact with a type A personality, a type C personality, a very pretty classmate, uh, an extremely different classmate. So in the real world out there, there are so many people with different personalities, background, culture. How do you interact with them? Okay. So collaborative study is really very important. And that's what we hope that you experience here at RMIT. Our workshop on Monday, studying in groups, will help you build that strong connection with the members of your group. So I hope to see you on Monday again. Okay? All right, we're down to the last 8 minutes of our workshop. I am going to share with you the pre-university checklist that I was talking about. Here are just some things that you might want to do this week and next week before the semester starts so that you could say, okay, I have been equipped. I'm ready to take on that challenge. I'm ready for the semester, okay? But before I share with you those secrets, for a minute, how do you think you can start to prepare for your studies at RMIT? Okay, so very quickly, off the top of your head, how can you prepare for your studies at RMIT? Just 1 minute. Type it in the chat box. Wow, okay, look at that. Learn more vocabulary, okay. Visit the library. You're still in the summer mood, okay. Practice English at home. Set specific goals. Okay, yeah. Make friends who can be your ideal group partners. Talk to current RMIT students. That is brilliant. Ask friends who have started courses some helpful experiences. Yes. Schedule my time, prepare learning materials, get to know staff and lecturers. Man, you guys are smart. I didn't even think about these things. Look at all that. Okay, so Lynn, who is still in a kind of summer mood, these are really great ideas for you. Schedule my time. Okay, I've just read that. Okay. Visit the library is very basic, yeah. Or visit the website. The RMIT website has a lot of resources for you. I'm not sure if you visit the RMIT Melbourne website, but go to this tab, Learning Lab, okay? Learning Lab, RMIT Melbourne, tons of tools, tons of information, tons of resources for everyone, okay? You'll go abroad for international short program, exciting, Bao, but what do you think? What will you need to prepare you for an international short program? I guess more than anything, you need to be culturally aware of that place you're going to. Support groups that you need to contact, okay? If it's a university that you've already made contact with, ask them, okay, where do I find help if I want to, if I want a tutor for this course, okay? How about my accommodation? Where do I get help to, join a club, all right? So Bao, as early as now, establish that connection with the university, okay? So you have a lot to worry about actually, aside from the regular learning skills or academic stuff. You need to worry about adjusting yourself in that international, in that country abroad. Good luck, Bao. All right. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Here's our university checklist. All right, so whether you're a high school graduate or you just finished level 6 or level 7 of the RMIT English classes, reflect on your past experience. Think about what you can repeat and improve on, okay? Review documents sent to you by RMIT, some reading list, general documents, timetable, all right, the academic calendar. When are the midterms? When are the finals? When are the first assignments due? Okay, look at all of that, and you can access that, by the way, in your Blackboard, your Learning Management Systems, or LMS. Think about your strengths and weaknesses right now. Think about your writing ability. Do you still struggle? So what do you do? Your your 1 out of 3 course requires you to write a 3,000 word report. OMG, right? So I'm not wanting you to panic at this early, but you can still do something. Okay. One student said, ask friends who have studied that course before. Who is that? How, all right? Ask friends who have studied courses before for some helpful experience, all right? When you say helpful experience, it doesn't mean that you will get the person's report and copy all of that, all 3,000 words. Ask the best practices that he or she used to be able to make that report, okay? Lynn, your slide screen died. Okay. I hope you can still hear me though. If you couldn't see the slides, that's okay. I will send you the recording in a while. Okay. All right. I think I have 2 more. Review personal resources available to you. I'll show you your support network in a while, and then visit the library and or website. Visit the Learning Skills Unit or a website. Okay. Visiting the library is not just a short trip to your library, university library. It's actually making yourself familiar with the facilities and at the same time at home or comfortable. Okay, I experienced this when I was in university. The university was so huge, I felt so small, right? But our university is this building, is inside this building on the first 9 floors, and be familiar with your facilities so that you don't have to feel small, you don't have to feel uninformed when the start of the semester comes, okay? All right, here's the personal resources that I mentioned, okay? And, okay, these are the personal support network that's available to you, okay? So here at RMIT, I feel that it's quite small. I don't see the words clearly. Okay, anyway, here at RMIT, you have the staff and the lecturers, the people who can support you, okay? And places like the library. So get familiar with them. At home, you may have a brother who studied at RMIT before, or a cousin who was a graduate 5 years ago. You can get information from them. They are your personal resources, okay? Yourself, you have your experience probably studying abroad for a short period of time, or you have had friends that have studied here, okay? And you are able to make friends with them and just simply ask for help without forcing it out of them, okay? And other personal resources like, things, websites, for example. You can browse websites that are related to management, perhaps, accounting, all right? These are tools that are available for you. You don't need to wait for the first day of the class to know about them, okay? So there are a lot of resources. Don't limit yourself to just what you find and see when you enter the classroom on the first day, okay? And I am just going to spend a few seconds with these. Visit the RMIT library or the website. It's rich, it's a wealth of information when you go in there, and the librarians will help you to find the books that you need. The librarians also conduct workshops, citing and referencing and research workshops. Ask them for a schedule of these workshops, okay? The Learning Skills Unit website, we post our slides, our handouts on this website. Here is the link. You will receive this slide after the workshop, so you can go and visit the website, okay? We also have the student learning advisor mentors. They are higher level students who have finished the courses that you are about to take, and they have received HD or DI in that course, and they will be available to help you on week 3, all right? So the SLAMS program will start on week 3 up until week 12. They are available for you. They are your resources. They are students like you, but they know more, okay? So you can ask them for help, ask them any questions. I will send you updates on that program soon. Here's the magazine that the SLAMs have written. In the past, we have had 10 issues, and if you click this link or cut and paste it into your browser, you will be able to read the SLAMs magazine off of your browser, okay? We also have other support services. If you feel that at any time you need support from the counselor in the health and well-being department, you can go and click that and you can make an appointment with her, okay? As early as your first year at RMIT, you can plan your career as well. You want to make those connections with potential employers, contact the career service, okay? All right, wow, it's 11:03, everyone. Do you have any questions? Okay, maybe now you don't, but if you do have questions after the workshop, please feel free to email me. Here's my email. I'm going to cut and paste that in the chat box. All right, we have a small question. Are most of the essays written in MLA format? Okay, not all the time, but like you said, most of the essays will be written in MLA format. Tuk, can you share with everyone what MLA means? Just so the others have an idea what MLA means. So we're talking about assignments here, right? Assignments, yeah, it's a style of writing, okay? And not all of the, okay, let me answer the question. Not all of the essays or reports are going to follow that format. In fact, the structure will be given to you in your assignment brief. And where do you find your assignment brief? That's a document that you can download from your Blackboard accounts, okay? So once you have started the classes and you receive your student ID, you will have access to your Blackboard and you will see all the requirements for every course you are enrolled in. And when you click an assignment brief and download that, print it and have a look at the structure. It may or may not follow the MLA format, but what's in there, what's in the assignment brief is the structure that you follow, okay? All right, great. I'm going to change the screen, everyone. Okay, I hope you can still hear me, but you cannot see me anymore. I'm going to open polls. I'm going to open questions, and I would like you to choose your answer. There are 3 questions that you can see now. Which campus or center do you study? Saigon, Hanoi. The second question is, where are you watching your webinar on? Third, what are you watching the webinar on? Please answer those questions, as these are very important for us to analyze our services, have a quick look, and get some data, okay? And if you have any comments or suggestions, please type it in the Q&A portion. I'll give you 1 more minute. I hope everyone has answered. 16 out of 9, 16 and 9, that's 25 people. I believe I have about 28 still with me. Okay. Okay, 22 are off campus. Great. All right. Okay, I'm just going to go to setup. so I can say goodbye to you guys. All right, on Friday, we're going to have this, Managing Your Studies. So you will be able to read this more when I send the slides to you, okay? And so here are our future workshops. It's already 11:07. I don't want to take more of your time. I would like to say thank you for joining me today, and thank you for learning or finding out what university will be like for you, and also for sharing your ideas and asking those wonderful questions, okay? Please feel free to send me any more questions you think about after this workshop using my email. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you soon, okay? Thank you. Goodbye.